blade turned blue on me last week. The core was cooked. Cured concrete while dry cutting. What's the issue?
That's heat, plain and simple. You either exceeded the blade's max RPM or didn't let it cool.
I was running it on a cut-off saw. The RPM should have matched.
Then you probably didn't give it enough break time between passes. Dry blades need airflow. If you're just pushing nonstop, especially in dense material, it'll overheat fast.
So not a bond issue, just overworked it.
Exactly. Also, double check it's a dry-rated blade. Wet-only blades run dry? That's asking for failure.
Blade looked fine. Full segment, no visible damage, but it stopped cutting. Just rode the surface. What could have been the issue there?
That's glazing. Diamonds are there, but the bond isn't releasing them. It's too hard for what you're cutting.
This was old cured concrete.
Then you needed a softer bond. Hard bond on hard material means the diamonds get buried, no bite.
Can I fix a glazed blade?
Sometimes. Run it through abrasive block or green concrete to open it up. But yeah, soft bond up front would have saved you the hassle.
Ever seen a blade throw a segment mid-cut? Happened to a buddy on a bridge deck job the other day.
Yeah, segment loss is no joke. Usually comes down to two things: wrong blade for the job, or forcing it through reinforcement without support.
He was cutting rebar-heavy concrete dry.
There it is. Rebar generates shock. If the blade isn't rated for it, or if there's no water to cool and lube, segments can shear off. Also check for undercutting. That weakens the weld.
So reinforced cuts need a specific blade?
Absolutely. You want a blade rated for heavy reinforcement and, if possible, cut wet. Keeps things cooler and way safer.
I've seen blades start vibrating halfway through a cut. When I checked, they weren't even spinning straight.
That's worn out of round. Usually happens when the blade's side pressure is uneven, like if you twist during the cut or bind it.
Guy on my crew was rocking the saw through a corner joint. Probably did it.
Exactly. That torques the core and wears the segment unevenly. Also, if you use a blade that's too soft for abrasive material, it'll wear fast and off-center.
Can you recover that blade?
Not really. Once it's out of round, it's junk. You'll feel the wobble and lose control. Better to prevent it than fight it.
What's the deal with undercutting? Saw a blade where the segments were fine, but the core was eaten away underneath.
That's classic undercutting. Usually shows up when you're dry cutting really abrasive material, like asphalt or green concrete, without the right protection.
So the steel core gets chewed up before the segment even wears down?
Exactly. The material sands away the core beneath the segment. Once that happens, the segment's got nothing to hold on to. One hard hit and it snaps off.
How do you avoid it?
Use a blade with undercut protection, extra pads behind the segments. And if it's abrasive material, cut wet if you can.
Had a guy show me a blade with a cracked core last week. Thought it was a weld issue. What do you think?
Nah, core cracks are usually from stress, not the weld. Could be over-tightened, overheated, or run on a saw it wasn't rated for.
He was cutting with a big walk behind. Blade was a cheap one.
There it is. High horsepower saws need a blade with a stronger core. You throw a low-end blade on a 40 horsepower flat saw, you're gonna snap something.
So match the blade to the machine every time?
Exactly. Otherwise, you're gambling with time, money, and safety.
What about when a blade vibrates like hell but looks fine?
Check your flange. It might be worn or dirty. Also, if the blade's mounted off-center or the arbor's damaged, you'll get wobble.
So it's not always the blade?
Exactly. Could be the saw. But if the blade's been dropped or bent, that'll throw it off too. Always store them flat. Don't lean them against the wall like firewood.
Had a guy complain his blade was just crawling through concrete. Thought it was defective.
9 times out of 10, it's not the blade, it's the match. Wrong bond, wrong RPM, or wrong material.
He was using a soft bond on green concrete.
There it is. Soft material like that? You need a hard bond so the diamonds stay in place longer. On the other end, cutting hard material like cured concrete. That's where you need a soft bond to wear away and expose new diamonds.
Ever seen a segment crack down the middle, but stay attached?
Yeah, that's usually from thermal stress. Blade gets too hot, then hits water or hits a dense patch. Segment can't handle the shock and cracks.
So, slow down the cut?
Either that or back off the feed pressure. And check your cooling. If it's supposed to be a wet cut, water's gotta be flowing, not just dripping.
Gotcha. Thanks for all of your help on these common issues I've ran into.
No problem. That's what we're here for. Good luck.